Welcome back, everyone. Time now 8:43. Now, for the record, we are not Tom Brady fans, but just hear us out on this one, okay, for the sake of the argument. So USA Today reported this past week that he is worried about retiring because he's not sure what to do with his time.
That makes sense. We have financial expert Kyle O'Dell here with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, you normally talk to us about money, and this time we're talking a little bit about kind of the emotional side of when you actually do step into retirement. Because, like Tom Brady said, a lot of people worry about it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, a lot of people, they don't know what that next chapter is going to look like, you know. And so I think the important questions to ask, you know, I mean, there are always the obvious ones. You know, do I have enough money saved? Do I have a plan to minimize taxes and make sure that I don't run out of money so I'm not a burden on my kids one day? Those are the obvious ones. But that big question is, what do I want that next chapter to look like? What do I want to do when I grow up? You know, because at that point now, you know, money is no longer an obstacle. Now it's, what do I want to do every day? What's going to give me that, you know, that feeling of importance every day?
You don't realize how much time is in a day until you have all of the time in a day to do that. Yeah, that can freak some people out, I imagine.
Yeah, so I mean, I get asked all the time, you know, Kyle, should I get up at the same time every day? And I think that is important, because when we look at it, you've established for years a routine. You've established, you know, over the years a relationship with people at work. You've also established an identity. You know, when people ask you, what do you do? Well, you say, you know, I'm a teacher, I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer. And then all of a sudden overnight,
you're retired.
You're retired. And it feels weird, right? And so I think an important piece as you head into retirement is to keep that routine, but establish new relationships, spend more time with the kids and grandkids, and maybe reconnect with some old friends, but also establish a new identity. And I think that routine, you know, I would still get out of bed early, but you also might want to get out of the house a little bit, because there's an old saying that says, you know, I married him for richer or for poorer, but not for lunch. So, you know, if you've had a spouse that's been at home for years, you might want to get out of the house in the afternoon, because that dynamic around the house can change a little bit.
Well, that's a lot of time to spend together.
And you're right. Well, sorry, excuse me.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just curious. Do you talk to people who are going through maybe some tough times, they get bored or maybe even depressed?
You know, it's something that we talk about, that before you get to retirement, you need to have a plan before you get there. And it's amazing how motivating money is to people, and you may not even realize it. It's a real psychological piece where you have this motivation for years to earn a certain income, maybe, and especially the big piece is that you've conditioned yourself to save, you know, max out your 401k every year, and all of a sudden that paycheck stops, and now you're going in the opposite direction where, you know, that money, it's just not that motivating factor anymore. So you need to have that sense of importance in your life, independence, because your family has relied upon you, or you've relied upon you to earn that paycheck, right? So you need to reestablish that sense of importance. So that's where I think there's so many great, you know, companies around Denver that, you know, you can go and volunteer your time with to reestablish that sense of importance. So have a plan heading into retirement. Maybe establish, you know, I want to take a 2-month vacation and buy an RV, you know, and go travel everywhere. Maybe you've always wanted to learn, you know, certain things to cook. Maybe you've always had, you know, you've always enjoyed wine. You wanted to learn more about it, or work on that golf game. And, you know, I'll tell you, one of my clients, he had an old band when he was in high school. He literally went back and got the old band together.
What?
Now they play every week.
That's awesome.
You know, and he volunteers at the wildlife sanctuary up by the airport. You know, go find something that gives you that sense of importance, that gets you out of bed every day. Because I'll tell you, the clients I have, you know, when they're in retirement, the ones that are enjoying it, they're just as busy busier than they were before they retired.
I love that.
All right, Kyle, hey, some great advice there. We're a little far off from retirement, but never too early to maybe start
I'm still thinking about it, that's for sure.
Yeah. You know, I'd say let's follow Peyton Manning and his retirement. That guy's all over the place. You know, obviously he has a plan.
Okay, we're going to go work on being Peyton Manning.